You're a real live person, aren't you? I thought I was all alone out here. I bet you came from that city over there. Could you help me, please? I'm a projection, silly. My brother and I are part of the Mages Guild expedition. I made the proper adjustments. Now, let's see if I can spot my brother.
Lady Laurent, we need to get out of here. This place is a trap. Young Raynor has already been caught in its spell.
Oh, Tallinger, let's just stay here, you and I, forever.
No, the glamour has taken you as well.
Come, my dear.
Through this observation window, but he can't hear me. It must be the spell. And I bet the spell didn't affect me because I'm not attuned to whatever catalyst controls the magicka matrix. You know, the spell web. A pretty elegant trap, really. I think the spell's catalyst has something to do with an interest in knowledge. I'd be insulted, but what can I say? I'm in this for adventure, not scholarly pursuits. And thanks, by the way. The spell seems to be a combination of glamours and illusions. It snared my brother and the other scholarly types. Anyway, we can't leave them like that. We have to snap them out of it. I always have a plan. It requires you to get down there and talk some sense into them. I'll make sure the Daedra don't lock us in here again. Just find me if Raynor gives you any trouble. And be careful. Illusion magic can be tricky. Sure, there may be other spells active down there. Take a look at the observation windows and remember the details of each holding cell. The Daedra must be keeping those notes for some reason, and I believe in always being prepared. What a creepy place. I can feel something tugging at my mind. Find my brother and the scholars, and hurry. The spell might adapt and eventually trap us in here too.
Am I all right? Oh, I am perfect. But I am not who you seek. You won't release them from our spell? They belong to us now. But you shall simply die. Oh, sorry. This book is so engrossing. Could we talk later? I said I'm reading. Go bother someone with an intellect closer to your own level. I'm sure Lady Clarice and that Ultima Artificer would be happy to listen to your inane ramblings. I don't know what... Wait. You're right. This place radiates Daedric magic. I can feel it in the back of my skull. We need to free the others. Find Lady Clarice. I remember, she realized something important before we were drawn into the spell. I think so. I can still feel the spell tugging at my mind, though. Just in case, Kirith and I are going to our camp outside of the ruins. But I'm worried about the others. Since the spell doesn't seem to affect you, can you look for Lady Laurent? Lady Laurent, Tellinger, and I decided to take advantage of our good fortune and explore this old library. The possible gain in knowledge far outweighed any risk involved. But as soon as we stepped inside, the spell started to take hold. Thanks. Kirith and I will head for our camp outside the ruins. Meet us there after you find Lady Laurent and the Artificer.
Raynor sent you? Why? I just found the most fascinating... Wait, where am I? I see. I suppose I should ask whether or not you're part of this elaborate trap, but I sense that you're not an illusion. Oh, I can feel the spell, however, crawling back, trying to slip into my mind. What an odd sensation. I remember that we discovered something or another, but the details elude me. Perhaps if I had more time to recover from the effects of the spell... wait a moment. Tellinger said something important just before I became engrossed in this relic. I wouldn't know exactly, but I'm sure Tellinger's around here somewhere. He's really quite clever, and dashing to boot. He reminds me of my good friend Stibbins. Well, let me see. We decided to take a look around this old library. I was sure there had to be a treasure or two to make it worth our while. Young Raynor became ensorcelled almost immediately and ran off. After that, things kind of get fuzzy. Thank you. I'm going to get out of here. I need to find someone.
Nicely done!
I'm rather busy right now. Come back later. No, not even a little. You won't find your artificer, and you'll never leave here alive!
Who's got a whetstone? Did you hear something?
I take it that you are the one who read my note? The spells I placed upon it alerted me that non-Daedra eyes examined the writing. I do hope that you are a member of the force from Tamriel. If so, I have something to show you. This vault contains a portal, and the power emanating from it is overwhelming. Something on the other side seems to pierce the veil of illusion that hangs over this ruined library. It's inconsequential. Whatever it is, it may serve a purpose in our battle against the Lord of Cold Harbor. If we can acquire it, then this excursion will not have been a complete waste of time. I have my suspicions, but I hate to speculate. If you must know, I think it might be one of the fabled lights of Meridia, the sources of power she used to hurl the Hollow City into Cold Harbor. Come in and we shall investigate further. Enter the portal and find the source of the power I sense emanating from the other side. Because I don't completely trust myself, while I have avoided the illusions that trap the others, I can still feel the pull of the Daedric spell. Find the power source and meet me at our camp outside the ruins, and take this token, just in case. Once you go through the portal, the token will attune itself to the access point. If you get lost, use the token and it will return you to the portal. What was once a curiosity that won me fortune and acclaim is now a vital tool in our mission.
These lights of Meridia can free me from Molag Bal's bondage. Find them and bring them to me.
The brave hero who broke the spell that bound us. So good to see you again, my friend.
Welcome back, my friend. Did you find it? Was I right? Was the source of power I sensed one of the fabled lights of Meridia? By the eight, that crystal! It is a light of Meridia. It is said that these orbs of power once allowed Meridia to transport an entire city into Cold Harbor. If an agent of Meridia harnesses this power force, we shall gain a distinct advantage. With Meridia's lights, we can turn the tide of this campaign. Kirith said you came from the Hollow City. We shall go there once everyone has had a chance to rest. Thank you for your help. You know, you remind me of one of my students. Once inside the Hollow City, we'll begin helping with the war effort. We must test the lights of Meridia and investigate methods for destroying Molag Bal's plane meld mechanism. There is always research to do in campaigns such as this.
Ah, there you are. The groundskeeper said you had a pickup. I assumed she was talking about this merry band. Good to see them alive and well. They are alive, right? Not that I mind the odd zombie, it's the spell I can't abide. Nasty, that. Ugh. Yes, whenever I visit a library and do some reading, I usually fall right to sleep. Can't keep my eyes open. Great for when I get insomnia. But enough about my sleeping habits. I shall do my heroic duty and bring them back to the city unharmed. No worries there. Almost all the people I've traveled with over the years have remained in one piece for the duration. I've seen the odd dismemberment, but that's far more the exception than the rule.
Put down your weapons. We can think of better things to do than fight.
Sometimes the right thing and the wrong thing are the same thing. You have come to Haj Uzith in its most desperate hour. Haj Uzith is a place out of time, an ancient Argonian settlement plucked from the Black Marsh and deposited into this dread realm. We know of your mission to Cold Harbor, and we would like to help. But unfortunately, my people are divided. Divided over the fate of our history. But tradition demands that you pass our trials and prove your worth before I reveal all of our secrets to you, outsider. Please, head down this path to the city. I will follow you.
While our factions continue to argue about the fate of our beloved history. The outsider while our factions continue to argue about the fate of our beloved history.
The outsider has come, Anjin Saka, just as the history foretold. Perhaps now we can finally settle our disputes and do what is best for the Hist and for Nirn itself.
We shall see, Treeminder. We shall see.
Are you ready to help us, outsider? Will you undertake the trials? There are 2 trials, each designed to prove your worth to one of the factions here in Haj Uzith. The trial of spirit and the trial of body. One shall test your intangible qualities, the other your physical virtues. The trial of spirit is a test to prove your worth to the scholars of Haj Uzith. It shall challenge your mind and determine your strength of spirit. The trial of body is a test to prove your worth to Anjin Saka and his warrior faction. I'm sure it involves some kind of contest of strength and physical prowess. By successfully completing the trials, you shall show your worth and skills to our factions. Then you may participate in the great debate
that has fractured our community for so long. Are you ready to undertake these trials? Do you wish to start the trial of spirit? This trial determines if your spirit can understand the spirit of my people. We cherish courage, which helps us face this realm's horrors, endurance, which allows us to bear its hardships, and preservation, which keeps our traditions alive. Take these amulets and speak to the people on the South Pyramid. Give each amulet to the person that best represents its spiritual quality. For each correct match, you will receive a gem. 3 statues at the top of the pyramid represent the challenges our values must contend with. Place the gems in the correct statues to symbolize overcoming these challenges. Then meet me at the base of the pyramid when you have finished the trial.
I see the trial of spirit has begun. I am a go-between. I negotiate interactions between my people's 2 factions, as well as with the other inhabitants of Cold Harbor. And which of Zohan Neal's baubles do you think matches my daring nature? No, thank you. That amulet should go to someone who maintains our ways and traditions. And which of Zohan... Thank you. I need to be brave and resolute to negotiate not only with my own people, but with the sad and dangerous creatures that roam this twisted plane. Here, take this gem of courage. You will need it when you reach the top of the pyramid.
You must be here for the trial of spirit. Know that I am the Lord Master of Haj-Uzeth. I maintain the traditions and customs of my people. Of course. And which amulet do you think best matches my venerable nature? Thank you. My role here is to preserve and pass on the traditions of my people so that each generation never forgets where we came from. Take this gem of preservation. You will need it when you go to the pyramid's upper level.
Are you here for the trial of spirit? Then know that I am but a humble farmer dealing with whatever this strange land throws at me so that I can provide food for my people. One of Zohaniel's necklaces, I assume. And which one do you think matches my pragmatic outlook on life? Thank you. I deal with the hardships of coaxing food from this foul land. Without my dedication, who knows what my people would be eating? Please, take this gem of endurance. You'll need it when you go to the top of the pyramid.
The outsider returns. And was your trial of spirit successful? Good. That means you understand the spirit of my people. You must still complete the trial of body. Speak to Anjin Saka when you are ready to begin. You have proven yourself, as I knew you would. I shall answer what I can. The time of the great Argonian civilization was coming to an end, and our history feared what that would mean for its children. When Molag Bal offered a different solution, the history gladly accepted. We allow Molag Bal's minions to draw sap from the Hist tree. The only thing sustaining the Hist in this foul land is the crystal that Molag Bal gave us. But over time, the crystal has poisoned the Hist. It is dying. Our Hist cares for us, protects us. To preserve our culture, our history struck a bargain with Molag Bal. Now the crystal provided by the Lord of Brutality somehow keeps the Hist alive. But it cannot fully heal the poison in this soil. We believe that the crystal is one of Molag Bal's vampiric shards, foul relics that corrupt whatever they come in contact with. The crystal only prolongs the suffering of the Hist. No matter the cost, that suffering needs to end. Yes, provided you prove yourself worthy to both sides. Our two factions argue over the ultimate fate of the Hist tree. Which is the better outcome? Eternal death or eternal suffering? And then, of course, there is your mission to this dread realm. We know that you have come to this realm with the Fighters Guild and the Mages Guild. We know that you seek to stop the plane meld that Molag Bal has orchestrated. We want to help you, but we can't while our people disagree. The scholars, of which I am a part, believe that eternal death is better than the eternal suffering our Hist now endures. The warriors, led by Anjin Saka, feel quite the opposite. Existence, they feel, any existence, is better than oblivion. If only it were that simple. Our Hist is weak, barely sustained by the crystal that feeds it. It hasn't spoken to us in a long, long time. But I have had dreams. They revealed your imminent arrival and hinted at your involvement in our debate. You have completed the trial of spirit. Are you ready to undertake the trial of body now? Know that our arrangement with Molag Bal prohibits us from interfering with the Dremora who collect sap from the Hist. You, however, are under no such obligation. It has everything to do with the trial. It is the trial. Beneath the North Pyramid, Dremora gather sap from the Hist into great vats. They use treated wood to heat the sap and refine it, drawing forth its magical essence. Demonstrate your strength and physical prowess. Destroy the vats and disrupt their operations. If you add more treated wood to the fires, the sap will burn, and the vats will melt in the intense heat. Complete this task, and then return to me. The outsider has returned. Well done, outsider. That should give the Hist time to heal while the Dremora rebuild the refining vats. Nothing good, that's for sure. He covets the magical essence of the Hist sap and refines it into potions and elixirs, whose purpose we can only guess at. It's a perversion, but it is one we must endure. Then the time has come to choose. Do you agree that life, no matter the hardships, is sacred? Or do you side with the scholars, who would rather end the suffering and let our history die? If you settle the debate in the warrior's favor, then the history continues to live, and our civilization shall endure, just as it always has in this harsh land. Plus, my warriors shall stand at your side in your final battle against Molag Bal. The warriors believe that the history must survive, no matter the torments it is forced to suffer. The crystal must continue to sustain it, to keep the spark of life flickering despite the endless pain. Life is precious. The Hist must endure. If you must, I shall...
You have completed our trials, outsider. Now we ask you to settle our long debate. Will you side with the scholars or with the warriors? The scholars believe that the history cannot continue as Molag Bal's slave. It withers away, but the crystal will not let it die. This cruel existence, this terrible suffering, it must come to an end. Oblivion is preferable to eternal torment. This outcome, while sad, is for the best. We shall give you a boon to help you in your struggle. Without the vampiric shard, the Hist will pass on naturally. But first, you need to convince Anjin Saka to accept your decision.
Have you made a decision, outsider? I see, but our traditions allow a choice, any choice, to be challenged. You must defend your decision by defeating our champion in combat. If you cannot uphold your conviction through battle, then how can you expect us to honor your decision? Then go to the challenge grounds and face our champion. But know this, our champion fights to preserve a sacred life. You cannot hope to overcome the strength of his conviction.
I've got what you need.
What is it?
Fight for the warriors. The history must endure.
The cursed shard has been destroyed. Currents of happiness and grief flow through the river this day. Thank you, outsider. Because of you, the Hist's eternal suffering and enslavement shall finally come to an end. We shall mourn the Hist, but we shall also find solace now that its pain and torment is over. When you need us, we shall be there.
I'll handle this, sir. You can come out and see in a moment. So, someone has come to help us at last. We're out here in the middle of Cold Harbor, and that's the best question you can come up with? I am most definitely not talking to myself. I am speaking to the alchemist. Be quiet, you mangy cat. I can't hear myself think with all that racket. Patience, sir. I'll explain everything. I am with the Mages Guild. We stepped through the portal and wound up in this vile laboratory. Daedra experimented on us. They merged our two souls. Now we're wasting away as this soul-meld kills us.
To see out of Khajiit's eyes again. Zar hates being caged in that dark place. Yes, this one is pretty famous. Perhaps you have heard of Zar. But Zar must tell you, this soul-meld is killing us. Will you help us? Will you unmeld our souls? Unmeld is so to a word. Pardon. The dwarven device that caused this is inside the laboratory. But Robo blocks the way. Collect Zar's notes and a bottle of pearl tincture. With those, this one can make a potion that will get you past the rubble. Questions are good. Ask and ask again. That is the systematic method of experimentation. Remember that you must know the rules before you can successfully break them. Oh yes, we came to defeat the evil Molag Bal. Or was it Menemarco? Zar forgets. So many bad things start with the letter M. But something went wrong and Godress, and this one ended up here. That's when the Daedra melded our souls. Their specialty is transmutation. change one thing into another. So, not too difficult to change you from large to small. Then you can slip past the obstacles that block the entrance. Zer never said it would be easy, Dark Elf. Mind your tongue. Unfortunately, no. The Soul-meld weakens us, and we must conserve our strength. With the recipe and the ingredients, this one can make a transmutation potion and exert almost no energy whatsoever. A much better approach at this time, yes? Over here. This one used an illusion spell. Very little effort. It is good to be out and about. Cold Harbor is an inhospitable place, but this one is adaptable. Zer thought this was where he left the tincture, so I came to investigate. Don't tell Godress that Zer was here. A simple illusion spell protected me. But Godress gets worried. Me? I like to explore. This one has always enjoyed trying new and different things. But this situation, it is very strange, very awkward. Is that thought me, Zer, or me, Godress? This one can never be certain where his thoughts end, and Godress's begin. Very confusing, yes? Zar told you our friend would find us, Godress. You worried too much. Godress is upset because we had to hide behind some rocks. Undignified, he said. Well, Zer says that being eaten by a deformed creature is even more undignified. Quiet, Gadris. This one knows what he's doing. This is most fragrant work, my friend. Most fragrant. Zer shall draft the potion immediately. It should make you slightly smaller. Certainly small enough to squeeze through the rubble. Long enough to slip into the laboratory. A few minutes, give or take. Now, let Zer think. Was it 6 or 7 drops of tincture? Zer thinks he saw some dried scarecrow over here. Ah, yes, here it is. Ah, Zer's finest potion yet. You will drink it now, yes?
This grows more taxing by the hour. Here is the potion. I hope Zer didn't cut any corners, but knowing him, it probably tastes terrible. Yes, Zer, I'll be sure to mention it. I am not a mixer of potions, and I don't want to debate the merits of alchemy with Zer again. But the cat knows what he's doing. Inside, look for my notebook. It lists what you need to craft the antipodal rods. Rods that will reverse the soul-meld. Just find the components and craft the rods. We will try to recuperate and regain enough strength to teleport ourselves inside. If you have questions, please ask them before you drink the potion. The potion will work, you'll see. And know that I am grateful for your help. We both are.
Need some magic done?
Over here! The constructs have moved away from the forge. All this skulking around using up valuable energy on apprentice-level illusions. I grow ever more weary. Even Zur's enthusiasm is ebbing. I'm afraid to hope too much. But you've made such progress. Perhaps we shall end this torment after all. The constructs have moved off. The forge area is clear, at least for the moment. Melt the components in the furnace, then craft 2 rods from the mixture. There is an anvil near the furnace. Be careful, though. The mixture can be volatile. The machine that merged us is further on, in the Overseer's atelier. We'll meet there. Teleportation was never this difficult before. The spell took so much out of me I was afraid we would never materialize. But Zur has the key to this room. He acquired it shortly after we'd got here. Were you able to craft the antipodal rods? We are so close. You need to use the rods to activate the dwarven device that performed the Soul-meld. Oh, and the crystal. I'm getting as careless as Look for a glowing crystal. The Overseer placed it in the machine to power the device. Well, in a manner of speaking, understand that Xur and I do not have two separate bodies to return to. But if this works, the Soul-meld won't kill the both of us. The magic will separate the intertwined strands of our souls, but only one of us will survive the process. Do not be dismayed. We rejoice at a chance for one of us to survive. Go on ahead. We will meet you inside momentarily. Stop shouting, Xur. What? Oh, yes, of course. No, you're right. Xur reminds me that you have been most helpful, and we need to rest anyway. So I decided not to cut you off with a snide retort. Please accept my apologies and ask your questions. Based on our own experience, it appears that merging two souls into one vessel causes an internal storm as the souls vie for control. It takes all of our mental fortitude to maintain our individual personalities. Then nature takes its course, but at least we will have tried to beat this. At least one of us has a chance to survive, and know that, however this ends, I am grateful for the aid you have provided us. If the device works the way I expect, then the person operating it will decide which of our souls survives the reversal process, and which is discarded. I guess it will be up to you to choose who lives and who dies. Well, I could make a strong case as to why I should be the one to survive. My qualifications, my experience, my worth to the Mages Guild. But the truth is, I have grown fond of Xur. My right to survive is no greater than his. I cannot advise you. I wasn't sure the illusion would last long enough to make it across the chamber, but it did.
As the end approaches, this one must admit that he will miss our time together. This one can't believe you crossed this chamber without so much as an illusion to mask your presence. You are so brave. This one, Xur's whiskers were twitching inside the Dark Elf's head. Next comes the exciting part. You test our theory. See those two pillars? One represents Xur, the other Godress. Insert the antipodal rods and turn on the device. If it works, you should be able to separate our melded souls. Yes. As we have explained, one body, one soul. At least one of us will survive to help the Mages Guild. This one knows you will make the right decision. Place the crystal into the machine, then insert an antipodal rod into each pillar to start the unmelding process. One of us must be saved. How strange this feels. To be simply there again is lonely. There is fine. At least, there thinks it is true. This one feels strangely empty. This one is there again. But, thanks to my time with Godress, this one is also different. There wants very much to leave this place. Many bad memories. The door is nearby. It will open from this side. Meet us, me, outside. My abilities grow stronger already. This one can create a portal to somewhere safe, once we are outside.